Hi everyone. Today I wanted to share a little bit of information about Dragon Reiki because I've been promoting a special that I'm offering this month. And I had somebody ask me a question that I thought was really great question to answer, and I'm sure other people are thinking the same thing maybe when they see me, writing about the Dragon Reiki. So this person basically simply asked, what's the difference between a traditional Reiki session and a Dragon Reiki session? So that's what I'm gonna share with you here today. And I've written a little bit about this, and to be honest, I'll probably do another video or two explaining this. So for those of you that are familiar with Reiki, and some of you may not be, it is a type of healing energy work. The energy is transmitted from the practitioner to the client, and it's really transmitted from source energy. So whatever that means to you, God, source, life, it's transmitted through the crown of the practitioner, so the top of the head, moves through the body, and typically out the hands. We do use the hands to put on people's bodies, and sometimes we work above the body. Sometimes there's no touch involved, but you can do Reiki with your eyes. You can use different parts of the body. Basically, that's another topic altogether. But animals are doing Reiki when they're around us. Cats and dogs will do. We can say Reiki, but it's really healing. And when you even break that down a little further, it's love. They are giving and sending us love, sharing love with us, and it comes through in the form of healing. But just really to break it down, I like to call it love. And Reiki means universal life force energy. That is what is moving through the person that is sharing it with somebody else. So in a typical session, somebody would be lying down on a table, and the practitioner would start, typically, again, these are like typically what people do, start at the top of the head, work on the head, the face, and then move down the body. They are working the different chakra systems of the body, and again, I won't go into what those are, but they're energy systems. And but you can really, you don't have to simply focus on the chakra systems. You can work on any part of the body that needs any love, any support, any healing, any part of the body that has suffered an injury or is undergoing some stress or pain. And so people are typically lying down for a healing session and receiving. Most practitioners will have music playing on in the background, and the person is just relaxing, and they will, again, typically feel heat coming from the practitioner's hand, heat. They'll feel on their body, inside. They may feel tingling. Sometimes, although it's not as common, people will feel a cold sensation, and that is also something that can be experienced. And then people may feel different sensations in the body. But again, typically people are feeling heat and warmth. And when they get up, they have usually a deep sense of relaxation. And a lot of people will say that, different aches and pains that they've been experiencing have diminished or gone away. So that, again, going over this pretty quickly, but that in a nutshell is Reiki. Again, very, very, very short synopsis of a Reiki session. So how does Dragon Reiki differ? Dragon Reiki, for me anyway, and different people working with this energy may experience it in a different way, but for me, it'll be very similar to a traditional session where, and I'm doing this distance-wise, so you can send healing energy distance-wise through the phone, through Zoom, or just, you can agree upon a certain time that somebody's going to be laying down and you can be sending the healing energy to them. So in my case, I usually will arrange a time where we're meeting on Zoom, or it can be on the phone. And I'll ask the person to lay down somewhere comfortable. Now that could be on their bed, on a couch, on a reclining chair. It really doesn't matter, just as long as they are really comfortable and if they cannot be disturbed for about an hour. And then I create sacred space and call in your guides to be present during the session. And that is, again, your guidance team, angels, maybe ascended masters. And I do call in the dragons, your dragon team, your dragon healers, your dragon guides. And then what happens is I tune in. I get quiet and I tune in, and I wait for the dragons to start to communicate with me and start to share with me where they're going to work in the body. So they really are guiding and leading this session, which I think is quite beautiful. I am, of course, there as a facilitator, but I'm tuning in to who and what is showing up. And sometimes it's not dragons. Sometimes there, like I said, are angels or ascended masters, or I had a session not too long ago where I had some animal medicine come in. So animals came in to do some healing for someone. So as I am tuning in, I start now to sense different colors or sometimes a shape. I will oftentimes see a dragon. It will appear to me. I will see the shape of it, how big it is, maybe how skinny or not skinny it is. I will see the color of the dragon. And for me, they tell me they're very specific about where they're working. So they sometimes will show me that they're working in someone's heart area, or maybe somebody has neck and shoulder pain and discomfort. And so they will show me that they're working there for the person. And then as that's happening, I'm describing to the client what I see happening. Now, when I say the dragons are showing me where they're working, for me, again, everyone's different, but for me, I actually feel it in my body. I will feel a sensation, or sometimes I feel a pressure, and sometimes I actually see a particular color. They will show me a color and they'll point out where that color is in the body, and that gives me information as to what they're doing, what they may be clearing. Sometimes they're filling people up with energy and life force, and sometimes they're doing a lot of clearing. So again, to repeat, they're showing up as full-blown dragons. Sometimes I will see a piece of them. I had a session where I kept seeing just the hand and the arm of a dragon doing the clearing and healing work on someone. And then, and sometimes it's just a color that they're showing me. So if they're showing up just as a color, that still is an indication of dragons and dragon energy. And again, I'm sharing all of this with people as the session is progressing. Sometimes people will share what they're feeling as well, or they might have a question. A lot of times people aren't, you don't need to talk during the session. It's more about receiving. So receiving the healing energy. And sometimes there are messages. Sometimes there is information that comes through that I'm able to share about the session. And then I will close the session out. I do sometimes pull a dragon card for people just to see if there's a message coming through, a dragon card for them. And then I leave a little extra time for people to share with me anything they want to share, or if they have any questions. So the difference, again, the point of this video is to highlight what is the difference between a Dragon Reiki session and a regular Reiki session. And it's really that the dragons are coming in, they're really guiding the session, they are providing the healing work and directing me and showing me where that healing work is being done, which is really, really, really sweet. And there are very deep and profound shifts that happen with this. So it may sound, I don't know, it may sound a little like, oh, this is entertaining, but no, this is, there is deep, deep healing that happens. And each session is so radically different. It's really hard for me to say, what I'm going to see, what I'm going to sense, what's going to happen. Sometimes they're working on people's knees because there's been some injury, so there is some healing work that needs to be done. Sometimes it's a lower back, sometimes it's someone's feet, sometimes there's a lot of mental chatter going on for people, so there's like clearing that needs to be done in the headspace. So I think I'll leave it at that. If anyone has any questions that they want to leave in the comments after the live, please feel free to do so. I did just want to address that question of what is a Dragon Reiki, how is a Dragon Reiki session different than traditional Reiki? It is healing. That is the underlining theme that runs through it. They are both healing sessions. There are symbols that the practitioner calls in to use during the sessions, so that's another similarity. And in Dragon Reiki, there are different symbols, obviously, than in traditional Usui Reiki. So thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. And I'll see you next time.